and filmmaker. I have published novels and short stories over the years in French and English. I am currently working on a couple of scripts and novels and just writing projects. But what I'm really focusing on doing at the moment is my new horror period short film. Or maybe you say it the other way around. I don't know. English is not my first language. So, one thing with me, writing is both the highlight and the bane of my existence. And I also hate rewriting. I hate it so much that I just find myself procrastinating, going on social media, reading books, cleaning, cooking, even working out, doing anything outside of writing. I think that the reason behind that procrastination is that I'm afraid of failure and receiving more negative notes when I rewrite and send it back to my readers. But I have reached a point in my short film horror period story where I need to write it because my producers are expecting a new draft. Another reason why I hate writing is because I hate going back to what I've written. I'm actually someone who doesn't like reading myself, except for one novel. That novel, I love it so much, I just read it like anytime. The other reason is that the script that I'm writing is a bit complicated to write. It's a trilingual horror period short film because of course I make things very easy for me and I have to write it in multiple languages. It deals with a very complicated topic. It's a period one, so I have to do research. It is one of the most complicated scripts I've ever written before. So of course I had complicated feelings about writing it. So instead, I decided to open the birthday gifts I've received from my friends. There's that first book by Solène Brun called Derrière le mythe métis, and this Earth My Brother by Kofi Awuno. My friends love me and I love them, and they know that the best way to make me happy is to get books. So that's me procrastinating instead of, writing that script that I'm supposed to write. So here is what I did to just rewrite the script. I first use a post-it method for the structure, but usually for a short film, the structure is very easy and straightforward. It's a three-act structure. Something happens to the main character, forces them to act. There's a midpoint where everything feels lost, and then there is the conclusion, the resolution. So after that, I kind of daydream about the story for weeks or even months at the time. And daydreaming takes the appearance of me being with the characters, of me looking at the scenes, imagining them, anytime, really. And then the thing that I do is that I give myself a deadline, even if no one else gives me one. So I just started writing. I just started writing after rereading the notes that was sent to me. I also decided that one time to have a look at the character's description that I've written before to make sure that things are coherent in that aspect. Then what I did to rewrite my short film is to give myself an easy target. My easy target was, I have to finish my short by that date. So I'm going to write 2 scenes a day, and that's going to be it. The next thing I did to write it was to try to write first thing in the morning or during my lunch break. That helps when you don't write full time. And as you know, based on my previous video, I do not write full time yet. Then I put my writing playlist on. My writing playlist is called Rider in the Dark, of course, inspired by that Lord song that I love. And then I started writing. Yeah, I started writing. I was looking at that. I was feeling really great for the first scene that I was writing. I was like, oh my God, that's a great scene. You've done well. Then the second scene, I was not feeling that great. I should have taken breaks. I didn't. And then I procrastinated. I was writing and I was like, let me go on Twitter. Let me go on let me go on Instagram. Let me go on TikTok. And then a day has passed. My eyes were tired. The scene was not that great. So I was a little bit disappointed. So I didn't know that, but I've reached a point that I usually reach in my writing process, where I simply give up. So me procrastinating, me not taking breaks, me forcing myself to write and push through despite the fact that my body was sending me a clear message. And that clear message was that I needed a break, I needed to put things down, but I was like, no, I need to keep pushing through, I need to do it. So I gave up. I gave up. At the end of the day, I gave up. I went for a very long walk. I usually go for long walks every day. Next day, I just wrote again. I finished the scene. It was still okay. I wasn't necessarily very satisfied about it, but it is what it is. There will be other drafts, but with this one, I'm really getting very close to the final version. And the thing that's going to be the hardest for that project is getting funding, not writing. I'm that confident in my writing skills, I guess. So one of my qualities as a writer is that when I give myself deadlines, I usually hit them. And I'm really good at that. So for that project, it was a short film, so I knew I could pull that off. It's a bit more complicated when I write features or novels or TV spec script because they're longer, but for short films, it's doable. So I eventually finished it. I rewrote a couple of things. The last scene, I was inspired by a movie by Jonathan Glazer that won the Academy Awards for Best Foreign Film. And that movie is called The Zone of Interest. I watched it and I loved it. And that ending really inspired me. So finished the script and that was it. As a writer, like I've said, I hate reading myself. And that's a mistake I've made in the past where I simply wouldn't read my work because I hate it so much, but I had to. So once I was done, I reread the script and I changed a couple of things. I spotted the typos. And then I sent the script to my readers and producers once I was done. Usually I try to give myself a treat, the treat being food, when I finish a work. And this is how I finish writing my horror short film. So thank you for coming along with me and let me know how you do yours. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel for more writing and filmmaking related videos. If you want to support my small business and my work, look at my website as well as my books available on most stores. Thanks for today. Goodbye.